We are all preparing to mourn 2XKO with Riot closing the doors on the game. We all know at this point the game is shutting down production, no more support past December of this year, and everyone is trying to come to a conclusion as to the why. There's people saying that Riot hated the game or taking things at face value and the game just wasn't performing, trying to deduce what their expectations were for the game in ways of performance and player base. People are saying because it's a tag game, or that one of the people paving the way for the game's creation was building the game under very slimy pretenses. There's a billion fingers being pointed in many different directions. I have two primary culprits. Starting things off with the advertisement or lack thereof regarding the game. Basically, many people had no idea this game even existed, and I've seen it. I've talked to people that had no idea that Riot made a fighting game, even though it's been something we've been talking about in the scene for forever. The other thing that, in my opinion, with no actual evidence to back this up, this is purely a feels like statement, and it comes from the free-to-play model with this level of monetization. This is not to say that free-to-play model in fighting games can't work, but when the way you make your money is to have people buy cosmetics, and these cosmetics are set at premium prices, I would very similarly compare these prices to how Valorant is structured. I think that's where you lose a lot of people willing to open their wallets. I mean, look at these prices, dude. Even at discount for this bundle, it's $60 fucking dollars. I see that, and I know if I purchased it, I would immediately get buyer's remorse because that's a full tank of gas or groceries, and for a lot of people, $60 is more important now than ever. And this is at a discount. You're telling me that normally it would be $100, but if I call in the next 5 minutes, I get it for $60? Oh, just take my money. Now, these monetization models do work, but it won't just work right away. They very specifically work with forever games, and fighting games are very rarely forever games, but even then I still think the pricing is bullshit. All the people have spent hundreds upon thousands of hours in League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Valorant. For monetization to work, you have to be invested in a game. Invested to the point where you are willing to spend hundreds upon thousands of hours in whatever game that may be. And that very much is the case for a lot of fighting game players. But in regards of a forever game, I'm more so referring to League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Valorant, Fortnite, and so on. When you become invested in a game, you start making justifications to purchase something, even if it doesn't affect your gaming experience outside of how something looks. It just takes the right time, thing, and price. The justification process in free-to-play games starts out with something as innocuous as, well, I didn't pay anything for the game and I've put a lot of time into the game, so yeah, this game has earned my money, or it's as if I just paid $20 for the game. Introducing FOMO, or fear of missing out, into the equation can be the perfect storm to get someone to make that transaction, and once you made that first justification, it becomes easier to make the next. To me, this all works if the price for a bundle once again isn't $60 fucking dollars. Obviously, not every transaction in the game is $60. There is a trickle down where something as simple as a skin can be in the range of $20, but the pricing still remains egregious. Now, I've been told before that if I don't like the monetization of the game, I don't have to interact with it, and that's 100% correct. I didn't, and that's why we're here. Because I, as well as many other people, couldn't make that justification to part with our money, and not making those justifications is how free-to-play games stop seeing updates and how some of those games die. With a forever game, it works because the goal is to occupy a majority, if not all, your gaming time, and it'll count on at some point you having decision fatigue. And like I said, once it gets you at least once with the perfect storm and conditions for you to pull the trigger on, every purchase after that gets easier. The larger the sample size of players to work with, the more effective this strategy and model works, which is why I stress the marketing of the game. The biggest example of 2XKO actually doing a good job marketing their game was at the Game Awards. But even then, if people still don't know you made a game, you didn't do that good of a job. On top of that, not all fighting games are forever games. I'm going to play this game for a long time after they close doors, but that doesn't mean everyone will. Forever games hold the majority of your gaming attention, but I only play from 1 to 3, sometimes 4 hours, and that's when I do play fighting games. It isn't always every day. And the majority of the time, it's about 1 to 2 hours. 1 to 2 hours isn't particularly long enough for me to play a game, for me to experience decision fatigue, especially if I don't play every day. It's also, unfortunately, still very hard to convince new people to still give fighting games a real shot that haven't already tried. I have tried for years to get one of my roommates to give fighting games a real go, and he's probably played Street Fighter 6 a collective of maybe 3 hours. Stigma will always exist about fighting games being impossible to get into, and I'm more than sure people did give the game a shot because of the League of Legends IP, and it was free to play. But with so much of the air, even in the modern day, with games being easier to get into, there's still that mental barrier that exists revolving around fighting games being impossible. And it's not exactly common knowledge to the wider gaming base that in some ways fighting games have become more accessible. I did help one friend with the onboarding of the game and getting his feet wet, and he probably likes the game almost as much as I do. And if the stars align, he's gonna go to locals with me and play. As much as I personally think those two things are pretty key factors as to why the game closed doors, I think many of the other speculations around the why are also true to varying degrees. I think monetizing almost any other genre for Riot Games would have been easier, and I'm speaking with a bit of hyperbole here, but you're trying to fish out of a lake that everyone from the next town over has been pissing in. If any other team made this game, they probably would have been happy with the numbers, but yeah, it is Riot. I'm gonna go patch the game on PC because ironically and or maybe coincidentally, since the announcement was made, my app on PlayStation has been crashing, which dealing with PlayStation is a whole nother conversation. I'm gonna keep playing the game, and if you're also a fan of it too, I hope you do as well. I'm for sure gonna buy the $40 cosmetic unlock when that drops, cause I will shill for a game I like. And maybe and very possibly the game should have probably charged you something up front, even if it was only $20 or $30. Thanks for watching, just remember to keep on fighting and get ready for the next battle. I'll see you guys later. Peace.